Hello, welcome along, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time or whatever. If it is your first time, please hit that subscribe down there and hit the notifications bell. You'll get notified of whenever I put a video out. So here we have the brand new Ryfield model M109A7 Paladin, kit number 5129. This is just coming into the country now. We're talking a couple of days, a few days, and it will be at Tiger Hobbies, and then Tiger Hobbies will distribute all out to your favourite model shops. So if you've got it pre-ordered from Jadlam or whatever, you'll have it very, very soon, don't worry. It is a stunner of a kit. If you haven't seen a build, get on over to John Alex Scale Modelling channel and you'll see a full build there in 3 or 4 videos, I think it is. And he's built it all up and he's got it to black primer. But it's an absolutely beautiful kit. The only downside to this kit, John actually got this kit in America and sent it to me, so thank you very much, John. Very, very much appreciated. So basically, it's a beautiful, beautiful kit. It goes together very well. There's a couple of errors in the instructions, which John covers in his video, and I will cover in mine when I build it. So thanks again for that, John. And the other downside is the tracks. The tracks are multi-part, as you can see. They're workable. It has a metal barrel as well. So that's all good, but there is a downside to them. Here they are here. I've done a video on this. If you haven't already seen it, as I say, I'll put a link down below and you can go and look at that video about how they're built up. But basically, there's the tracks there. They're 100% plastic and they go together like this. Now, if you are getting one of these, or if you've got one, I would seriously suggest you go and watch my video rather than do it like this, because I've sussed a couple of things out and you can actually take them off the sprues in lumps and put them together in lumps and that, because they're all spaced the same. You'll see here we have the sprue. There's your jig on the end. You get 4 of those. You get 4 of these sprues. And as you can see, you've got your horns there. You've got your pins there with the end connectors on. And then we've got the bottom half of the link with the rubber pads. And then we've got the top half of the link there with the bolt going down through. And that's the problem. It's getting them to glue together without getting any glue on these pins. And the biggest problem is if you do get glue on one of those pins, you end up throwing away 4 track links because of the way they're designed. But there we go. So there they are. They are nice and flexible. If you do them right, they're lovely. They're absolutely great. But as I say, there is a downside to them, and that is the fact that they, you get any glue on them and that's it. But they are doable. I'm not saying they're not doable at all, but if you are a newer modeler that's not so good with using the glue or whatever, then you might want to consider some aftermarket tracks, and that's what this video is about. There is another kit on the shelf also available, because Tiger Hobbies, or Carriot Tiger Hobbies, is the importer, and this is I've done a review of this kit. This is the Magic Factory M10 Booker. Now this has the same, I think it's the same chassis. I think it's the same chassis. It has the same tracks anyway. The T161 tracks is what you're looking for. And they are a far superior track. Here they are here. I've built them. I've done a video. I haven't put the video out yet, but I've done a video, and these are actually made up. If I grab the instructions over here, you can see that these are made up. It's a lot more part intensive. You've got the link halves going together just like you have with these. I put the instructions next to each other. You've got a bottom half and a top half of the link here, okay, just like you've got there. And you've got the horn there, but the horn goes down through into the jig, and it's got 2 holes in it. And then you've got 2 end connectors and 2 pins, and then 2 end connectors here. And so it's going together, so it has metal pins. You can see on here there's black super glue. I've just put a drop super glue on the ends because the pins don't fit that tightly. But you can see that these are beautiful tracks. They're extremely flexible and they go together really, really well. The downside is about 1,500 parts there, and they all need cleanup. So lots and lots of cleanup. Just put a couple of films on or some favourite music, and that's what I spent a whole weekend building 2 runs of tracks. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable amount of work, but worth it in the end. I have a suggestion for you. Don't be tempted by the RFM 502, I think it's 3027. There are aftermarket tracks from 30 called RFM 3027. From what I can see on the box, it looks like they are just these. They are these tracks in a box. Okay, so don't be tempted by those. The RFM 3028 look to be a reboxing or a direct copy of the tracks I've got here, which are the ET model tracks. There is another way you can do this. Okay, these are over 50 quid. The other tracks, the RFM 3028, Gary has got some coming in within the next few days, but I think he's only got 2 sets. So if you want to get them, you have to get them at the right time. But they're about £33, and they look to be an exact copy of these. In fact, no, they're not, because they don't have the separate pads, I don't think. So no, they're not. These are around £50 a set. The other option, of course, is to go and buy yourself an M10 Booker from Tiger Hobbies, okay, because it's only about 49 quid, I think. Get the Tiger Hobbies, get the Magic Factory M10 Booker. Use these tracks on your Paladin, because your Paladin has fully exposed tracks, and you want that nice sag on the top. But the Booker has side skirts, so you only need to put that much track in there. Whereas with the Paladin, you want the full tracks. So you could use these tracks on your Paladin and use these tracks on your Booker. And what I'm going to do is use these tracks on my Booker, use these tracks on my B7 Fist, B Fist, I think it's A7 B Fist, oh, B7 Fist, what am I talking about? The A7, M7 B Fist, MA7 B Fist, whatever it is, because that's got link and length tracks. So I'm going to use these on that. Again, that's got side skirts, so I don't need to have a full length on there. And then I'm going to use the ET model tracks for the Paladin. So that's the sort of introduction as to why I have these tracks. So let's have a look at what we've got in the box. I can't find these anywhere for sale in the UK. I can't find any on eBay. I looked on ScaleMates, and as HobbyLink Japan has them for like 50 odd pounds, and there's another company in Poland that's out of stock, and they're 47 pounds or something from them. So they're not cheap. I got these from Hong Kong. I don't remember where, but there we go. So in the box, as you can see, we've got lots of 3D printed parts, and it's a lovely rigid little box. So we have 3D printed pads, and this is the beauty of these. They have separate pads. Now, you may be wondering why that's a benefit. The reason is, with these tracks here, and with these tracks here, they have the pads on the actual track. So I've got to paint each track pad, or just paint dry brush them or whatever, to make them look like they're rubber pads. Whereas with these, you can build up the tracks and then add the pads after. They're even in probably the right sort of rubber black colour. So you could just scuff them up a bit on here with a bit of wet and dry or something, and then off you go. Now there's one loose there, which is good, because I want to see. We've got the actual links themselves. So there's our pads, and we've got 554 of those pads. Okay, so there's plenty of pads. It says on the front 175 links and 350 pins. I've gone through what I've got. I've got 2 sets of these. I've gone through what I've got, and we've got 402 of the actual links themselves. We've got 380 of the connectors. That's the end pieces that go on. There's one just come out of the bag there. The little end pieces that go on that you can see from the outside. We've got 554 pads, 210 horns. So that's the bit sticking up in the middle. And we've got 375 metal pins. So as you can see, we've got enough to do the Paladin, because 175 links won't be enough, because we need 89 per side, I think it is. So, but luckily there's extras in here. So something I wanted to see, we've got this rubber pad here, and as you can see, this is 3D printed, and on the back there it has 2 little indentations, and I'm wondering if this is designed to clip on. No, it's going to have to be glued. But you can see there, if you want to do it with pads missing, if you want it really weathered up, pads ripped off, whatever, you can do that, because these links have the bolts on the back That's the top face of the link, that's the bottom face, and then the pad, it's not handed. The pad will just plop on there like that with a drop of super glue. You can see then you've got your pad, so you can see now the similarity. In fact, I'll use this one because it'll lay flat. You can see now the similarity between the two. So there we go. So yeah, we've got the links there, very nice. We've got the pads. In here we've got the end connectors. You can see them there. Okay, so you've got 2 holes in each. Some of them are slightly flashed over, but they should be fine. And then we've got the actual horns themselves there. So this looks like there's one loose in there. So, and we've got a jig as well to build them on. So we've got, let's just have a look how these go together. Okay, so we've got a couple of horns there. We've got a couple of links. Now these are going to go together. The bolts have to face outwards, so that's basically going to sit in there like that. Is it? Or do we have to glue the pads on first? I hope we don't. Seems a bit odd. Is the horn designed to go down through the bottom? There's no instructions with these, which is a bit weird. So I'm just thinking, does the horn go down through like that, like it does on the Magic Factory kit? And then this is going to go in there like that. Yeah, okay, so what they've done. Okay, so that's going to go like that. And then this one is going to go like that with its bolt on the outer face. Like that. This one's going to go like that. So they've put that little nubbin on there. It looks like RFM or Magic Factory and ET Model have worked together, because this jig looks very suspiciously like the Magic Factory one for the M10. And then we've got this here. Now this goes, I can't remember now, look at the picture. That's going to go that way up. So you've got that little, on here you've got a little bolt in one side. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there is a little bolt in there, and on the other side it's just flat. So that's going to go with the bolt facing downwards, because remember this is upside down. So that's going to go like that. It just wants to fall off. Let's grab a couple of pins. Come on, bag, open. So we want 2 pins. Just take one for now. So that's going to go in there like so. Okay, and then we've got on these connectors, there's one end open and one end closed. Okay, so that's going to go in there like that. We'll put that in the right way round. And then we'll hold those track links in there. And then those 2 pins are going to go through there, out the other side. And then we'll grab another connector wherever they were. Where have they gone? Here they are. So we'll just grab one of these, break that off its sprue, and then got a little bit of a nubbin on the back of there. We just knock that off. I would imagine if you broke all these off, put them in a cup and shook them, any little bits would break off. So we'll hold this down like so, place that on there. Easier said than done. Great fingers like mine. And just push that onto the end like so. And there we have one link made up. I can't get off. There we go. Now, are these tight enough to stay together? I don't know. I don't think they are. I think they're going to need to be glued. Now, the beauty of these is these are tubes, they're not rods. So what you could actually do, I mean, you could put a drop of super glue in there, but what you could do is just put a drop of the super glue on the end of the tube. It'll capillary in, and then as soon as you put this link on, it'll capillary back out. As long as you use thin super glue, so that'd be good. And then if it does get on here, you just be able to break these away. But you can see that's a lovely track link. Very, very flexible and very, very workable. But it is an expensive option, guys. It's a very expensive option when you can just go and buy the M10 Booker kit and get these tracks. Because I think these tracks are every bit as good as these, other than when you look at them like this. If I put them that way up, and you look at that one that way up, the downside is these don't have the separate pads. Other than that, and they do fit. The Magic Factory and the Magic Factory and the RFM tracks are interchangeable, so that's good. I don't know if I can find a sprocket here just to show you, just in case you are thinking of getting the... Alright then guys, so there you can see, even without cleaning them up, I've still got, there's the sprocket here. When people say do the tracks fit this certain kit, it's not to do with the length, it's to do with whether they go around the sprockets, because some sprockets don't interchange. But you can see I haven't even cleaned the sprue gates off of these. There's sprue gates all over them. But even with those still on there, they still fit. They still fit beautifully. Here we go. You can see they wrap around there. Absolutely fine. So that's good as gold. And if anything, they're a bit chunkier than these. They're a bit fatter. I'm not sure which are more correct to scale. But there's the Ryfield model tracks on the Ryfield model sprocket. In fact, I think the Magic Factory tracks fit better than these. I'm joking. But there we go. So you can see they fit on there absolutely fine as well. But when you actually look at these, you can see that if I put them like that pad to pad, you can see that the Magic Factory ones are considerably larger and more chunky than those, as are these. So one would perhaps think that maybe, just maybe, they're going to fit in there okay, aren't they? Well, they're designed for the Magic Factory kits, so they're going to fit absolutely fine because they fit and they are Magic Factory. Yeah, so you may think these are slightly under scale, I'm not sure. But they're certainly chunkier than them, and they are as chunkier than them as well. In fact, I might just make a few more up, just so we can compare a sort of decent length link, and go from there. Hang on. Alright, so I've made up a little length there. These, they do need to be glued, these ends. You can see that one's just fallen off in my hand there. They don't fit tightly at all. I did see Panzermeister do a set of these on his M10 build, and they looked to go together a lot firmer than these, and they looked like on his they had solid metal rods. So I don't know if they've changed the specification, but basically they don't just push together, they need to be glued. So probably the best thing to do is to put them together and just drop of thin super glue into there. They'll capillary in, that'll be absolutely fine. But I'm not going to glue these now because I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but they do fit. Remember, this sprocket has got loads of sprue gates on it still, but they do fit on that sprocket absolutely fine. No problems there at all. Just trying to keep it all together, but you can see they do go around there absolutely fine. So they fit in there lovely. So very nice indeed, and as I say, again, they are chunkier than these. They're the same width, I believe. Yep, they're the same width. It's the internal width that matters. And they are just a tad wider. If anything, we may need to sand a little bit. Oh, that's coming apart anyway. That's why it looks wider. Yeah, if you look at it while it's not coming apart, they are just a tad wider, so maybe just a quick sanding stick over the inside that sprocket would be required. But you know, they are designed for the Magic Factory kit, so they should fit absolutely fine. The Magic Factory tracks are also just a tad wider, so they're going to be a snug fit. There we go. So there we are, guys. So they are the ET model tracks. Part number is P35-416. As I say, they are like £50. So, you know, you pays your money, takes your choice. And as I say, there are RFM tracks that look to be a copy of these, although they don't have the individual pads, and they're £33. You'll be able to get those from Tiger Hobbies, and they are part number 3028. And as I say, avoid the 3027 because I think that's just these. In fact, does it say 3027 on this sprue anywhere? I can't see 3027, so they may be different on the sprue, but they look to be exact the same build up as these. So you're not really gaining anything by going for those. So there you are. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that. And as I say, it's a bit of a pointless review really, because it's showing you something that you can't really get in the UK at the moment, but you can in the rest of the world. So there we are. So if you're in the rest of the world, go get yourself some, or just go and buy yourself a Magic Factory M10 Booker for the same sort of money, and tracks that are probably just as good. So there we are. And then use those on your M10, or do the M10 in a maintenance with no tracks on it, or say your track sprues were missing and buy some new sprues. I don't know. There's lots of different ways to skin a cat in there. You're allowed to say that these days? I don't know. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye for now.